fabulous machine. And you could hear Tim really trying to spool up the turbo. Unfortunately, Ramrod kept on the line a little bit, but a great run there from Tim Blakemore. Is that the 906? 138 miles an hour. So a tremendous pass for him. Next stop, the 8s by the look of it. So John Hobbs refired. And unfortunately, Terry pushing back with Ramrod. Very much experimenting with this bike now, starting off in second gear, so it's not quite so wild. And that for John Hobbs is the quickest that bike's ever gone. 10.10 seconds. That's quicker than the original Olympus went back in the day. Run a best of 10.2 in that configuration. What an incredible run from Mr. Hobbs. He's going to be a little bit chuffed with that one. Mr. Henry on the Westlake. He's in the auto glim lane. And I was so taken with that run by John, I didn't even see who was in the near side. But a good run there, 12.6 for Alistair Henry against a 14.05. Moving on with Chris Emmons. With crystal methanol. This bike was around in the 60s. Obviously had a few mods since then. The Puma bottom end is probably not original. And he's alongside Dave Clee. As I said earlier, the oldest rider we've got here this weekend. Still a regular bike rider on the road. And he's no slouch on the strip as well. Oh well, Dave, you won't get a red light this time. And that's a shame, just lost fire. So going to be a solo run for Chris. I still can't get over that run from John Hobbs though, 10.10. Absolutely fabulous run. Chris Emmons powering down the track. And a 10.9 for him, a 10.98 at 127. Going to be well pleased with that one. So they've got quite a lot of historic bikes here this weekend. This one I'm behind at the moment, one of the granddaddies of them, Chris Hillman on Nero. The bike George Brown made famous along with his supercharged cousin, Super Nero. Chris in the stage. He's up alongside Neil Baskerville. Neil playing catch up on Chris. Not sure if he's going to get him at the top end. And so good to see Nero out. He brought it last year, had problems and didn't get down the quarter mile. 13.64, 85 miles an hour. That really is a piece of history. One of the special exhibits at the National Motorcycle Museum just outside Birmingham. 14.2 for Neil Baskerville, 101 miles an hour. As we wait for Graham Sykes on Mistral. Only the second run for Graham since building this bike. Originally run by Chris Richards, then Terry Sidebottom, and for many years Charlie Butterworth owned this bike. But I think by the look of it, Graham's got problems, which is a great shame. Many of you may know Graham anyway because he built the incredible rover-powered Psycho bike, which ran in 2- and 3-wheeler configurations. Okay, Dave Clee got fire again on the Puma Triumph. Alongside him, Simon Rees on the hour. Dave Clee's bike a lot happier this time. 10.99, 136.05 miles an hour against a 14.32.98 for Simon. As John Hobbs has somehow got right the way back round. He's sat there on Olympus. And alongside Terry Homan, who will be out running alongside him again in Dragway by the look of it. But first, we got Matt Norman on the double-blown Triumph. Dennis Norman's Conquest machine went to America in 1970 and ran at the Indy Nationals. This is the bike that was third machine into the nines in this country. Dennis himself, a great old character, now into his 90s, and so good to see his son and grandson running this weekend. Pushing out alongside him, Justin Newell with little David, the ex-McMahon 250 Honda. A lot of noise from this little Honda engine. Only 250 cc's of supercharged goodness. Just waiting for the all clear. But only a second run down the quarter mile for that back, 14.14 at 85. Looks like Matt got problems in the energy check lane. Still trying to get that clutch set up on the machine. But that really was one of the noisiest machines around. I think back in the 70s I didn't often wear ear defenders, but believe me, that one made your brain hurt. So just take a few seconds hopefully to get Matt off the top end of the track, and then we'll return. In fact, I think John Hobbs may be running against Colin Fallows. These two particular bikes did run together quite often back in the 70s. Mick Butler, who built Super Cyclops, long-standing drag racer, and John, of course, on the Hobbit. It really was a gold.
as we get ready to do our Cannonball. We've got Nick Davis with us, and also Pelly Lindlow's joined us in the tower.
Okay, so we've moved up into the pits and we're now in the Nostalgia Superstock area. Harrison, welcome to Dragstalgia. First of all, can you just give our guys the explanation on the class?
Well, Nostalgia Superstock, what I run in, is all about, stock cars. Okay. So, like, they've got to resemble as much of a stock car as they can. We're only allowed to run a 10.5-inch slick, so we're not allowed to modify anything to do with the rear ends or anything. The motors there's you can stretch the rules on the motors a little bit. You can put no power adders or aiders or anything like that. No nitrous, no turbos. It's got naturally aspirated carburetors, but you can go big. You can put a big motor in them.
So essentially a nostalgic pro stock class.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll see your car.
Yeah.
What you run so far?
I haven't actually been out just yet. We're just going to go out and qualify when that I do. My mum's driving her 69, like I say, pretty much street trim. I think she's been running 14 flat all day. Quite consistent.
Nice.
We're happy with it.
Okay, and the 3 questions we've been asking all of our racers. When did you first come to Cannonball Raceway?
Probably be about late 80s.
Okay.
So I was literally, I would have only been a babby. The first memory I can remember, it's a long time ago.
The first memory I can remember, I can't remember.
Yeah. This is all gravel.
Yeah.
So this was proper early 90, 91, 92. So I would say probably early 90s, and I was only about 4 or 5.
Okay.
When Dad was racing this one.
And it's still here. And
it's still going now.
It is a piece of nostalgia.
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially to the family.
Yeah.
Question number 2 is, what is your favourite thing about Dragstalgia?
I like it's a bit more relaxed, really, compared to all the rest of the year. We're always stressing about championship points. Yeah. And it's just nice to come to a meeting where we haven't got to worry about stuff.
The vibe. Yeah. The vibe of the weekend.
And relax.
And then obviously, because this is going out to our great people on Facebook, can you tell them exactly why they should be here this weekend?
Well, everything about it, really. It's a great atmosphere. The weather's obviously in our favour at the moment. The cars are fantastic, you can see. And it's just, the people, the punters that come around and chat to you and ask you questions, it's just really good vibe, and everyone about it. It's just a nice place to be, really.
Perfect.
And obviously you can have a drink.
After race.
Yeah.
Perfect response. Well, brilliant. Thank you very much, Harrison. Enjoy Dragstalgia.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully you guys will come and join it with us as well.
Gary bringing the Norton in stage. Still getting a little bit caught out there on the start line. So Pegasus gets their first 13.26 at 113 against a 15.09 at 99 for Gary. Next man to get fire, Ray Law. And he'll be alongside the fabulous Dragway with that brave man Terry Homan on board. Dragway, meantime, used to run in the days of no burnouts and very often used to smoke the first 100 or 200 yards to get going. So Terry's had to contest with these super sticky tracks to run the bike now. And the funny sounding stronger this time. Unfortunately, no ET in the left lane for Terry Homan, going through in 14.52 on Dragway. As that man Hobbs comes through again, run a 10.4 on his first run on the Hobbit, which he was pretty ecstatic about. Colin Fallows, meantime, coming into the energy check lane. Just waiting for the Hobbit to get warm. As John Hobbs gets older, he doesn't get any slower, that's for sure. Got the old team here as well this weekend. Chris T helping out, Peter Holton, John's son Mark, and also helping push the bike back. The only other guy to have ridden the Hobbit. Johnny Munn there helping out in the cap. Rode the bike here at Dragstalgia, the previous one. Not sure what happened there. We got a great run in the pit lane, 11.56. Sounded very good, 130 miles an hour, but just really hoping that's nothing serious happened to the Hobbit there. Sounded good off the line, but definitely not when he shifted, so we'll find out what's happening there. Anyway, I think we're getting back to some rather nice four-wheel action, so definitely time to hand back to Darryl.
Thank you very much, Keith. Just quickly, obviously, he called that bike the Hobbit before Hobbits were popular, didn't he?
Absolutely. John knew nothing at all about the Hobbit.
Okay, yeah.
People can't believe it, maybe, but not everyone was into. Is it Mr. Tolkien?
Yes.
Yeah, but John knew nothing, so yeah, very strange, but it happens.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah, it's an odd name, but it's stuck.
Certainly did. And, well, obviously he has started a trend that went worldwide with Lord of the Rings. Anyway, Keith, thank you very much indeed. We welcome back up into the tower Mr. Nick Davis for the second session, the second Cannonball session. It's going to be fun.
Also got another guest as well.
Another one?
Yeah, we got Pelle Lindelow has joined us as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, here I am again.
You spend more time in England than you do at home, actually, don't you? I think you were here in September last year.
Yes, I was.
So are you back with your team this year again?
No, it's Søren, one of my teammates, but the other guys are at home. And as I said, it was a quick decision, so we haven't planned for this, but I will surely come back because this is fantastic.
It is pretty good. But not to offend my Swedish friends, look, you see, I know I've got the shirt on. Can you see that?
Yeah.
There we go. I've got Swedish.
All right.
So I've still got Swedish crowns underneath as well. So.
We're like a big family. Thank you so much.
That's quite okay. And in honour of Trey Kroner, obviously. Now you remember this. Must remember Knut bringing this car over to Sweden with Harlan Thompson driving. He this obviously the first incarnation of this car won the World Finals with Harlan Thompson driving in 1980 when we had 22.
Yeah,
nitrates
and I
in the
was
car.
here.
Me too.
Me too.
It was something to see. You as well, Nick?
I think so, yeah.
My goodness, mate. Well, you actually only got into racing in the 90s, is that right?
I started driving properly in the 90s, but yeah, I was spectating from the 70s.
So what actually, if you don't mind me asking quickly, what got you into it? What made you think you want to jump the fence and get into driving?
I'd built hot rods since I was a kid, and I'd done a lot of run what you brungs. And I bought, if you remember Tony Rose's 1937 Ford, to put it back on the road. And I thought I'll just once or twice race it, and the bug bit, and that was it. That was the end.
This is going to be a great matchup. Great Florida against Apache, switched against the UK. Tim Garlick against Eric Ballender.
This is what boyhood dreams are made out of. It really is. It just turns back the clocks, it brings the hackles back up, doesn't
I
it?
would say it's like being small again, but I'm still small, but you know what I mean. So, Eric Ballender and Tim Garlick, you've got the numbers from earlier, Colin.
Tim Garlick, well, he's the number one at the moment, went 6.38. I haven't got a number on the board for Eric at the moment. So,
He's on a 6, definitely.
yeah. In there, Tim Garlick, quickest of the bunch at the moment, 6.38, don't forget it's Cannonball format, you add all the runs together. And then the top two race off for the big trophy, then you have third and fourth place race off, fifth and sixth race off as well. There we go then, Timmy Garlick with the Apache, the Firebird, he's in energy check lane, it's Eric Wallander with Well, Timmy Garlick wiping out the blocks to a 6:15.204, so that won't count. A 6:79 for Eric.
I think he might still get.
I think he will get that one because he didn't take out the finish line blocks. He took the 1,000-foot one out, but he didn't take the top end ones out. So that'll be all right.
Eric's ET will stand. I think Tim's will. To be honest with you, it was probably the headers that dinked it. I'm not sure.
No, it was a bit more than the headers, mate.
Yes.
I'm just being optimistic.
I know.
Okay, well, I mean, that was still really quite a cool side-by-side run.
Yeah. I mean, I know because I was talking to Johnny Nilsson just, and they are. I mean, of course, they are happy with the car is performing, but it's not performing as it should yet. So I mean, it's a long way to get everything right, and the problem is you don't have that many opportunities to make test runs.
Well, they ran at TIEP a few weeks ago, didn't they? Back in June, I think. They made some exhibition passes to 1,000 foot. Did the car behave itself that time? They still look quite happy with that, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's better to have a car that performs, that you can fine-tune, than to have a car that have handling problems or any other kind of problem with it. So
give the Trey Kroner team a big hand, as for Tim Garlick's team as well. Off up to get there, man. I'm just going to find... Excuse me, gentlemen, I'm sorry. I know you're up there, but there's a few people hanging about down here I need to have a word with, if that's okay with you.
Yeah,
sorry.
go for it.
Yeah. No problem at all. Well, the first one... Sorry, he doesn't know I'm coming, unfortunately. Well, first of all, you haven't... I've managed to see off Roland already, and he's only just got here. Anyway, Mr. Tony Betts, sadly not down here in your race suit. It sounded like it zinged a bit at the top end. Tell us what happened.
Basically, on the back of the shifter button, there's a valve, and we thought that it was leaking. So we got another one, put it on, and we've just realised what's happened is it's not got a return on it. So when I've done the burnout, I've burnt out in second, which everybody does. But then as if you come back, I normally pull it out and it retracts so that it goes into first. It didn't do that, so I literally launched in second gear. So
on that run.
On that run. Yeah.
So you launched in second gear, and well, you're not down here this time. Is that because you can't fix it for this round or this weekend?
This round, hopefully Mickey's going to get on his way back to Birmingham and pick another gearbox up.
Nick Bix off the crew guy's car. That's the way to do it.
So hopefully, yeah, he'll have that back tonight, and we'll put it all back in. Everything else, engine's good as gold. So get that done, and then we can get back out here.
Well, that's a real shame because that looked like it was on a pretty good run anyway. You've got lots of new stuff on the car, sort of a new crew chief as well. I presume you're learning a bit.
Yeah. I mean, 690 with like top gear launch, that'll do me.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, you've been 6.0s. You've got hopefully 2 more runs tomorrow to try and get that elusive, so far, 5-second run.
Yeah, that's we sat down there and we said, you know, should we just pack it away and go home? But we said no, everybody deserves it. Yeah. So
it's good to see you back out here. So is the new body worked out as it should, all the new stuff?
Yeah, I've got to thank Jeff for that. Jeff Stillwell, BUA Motorsport, he's helped us out with that one. It's been hard to get it all ready in time, but it was worth it.
I was going to say, even if it was next year, it'd still be a rush to do it, wouldn't it?
It doesn't matter what you do, does it? Every time you do it, you think you've left yourself enough time, and you never have. So, but the lads have worked really hard. We've got the car round, and yeah, I'm pleased with it.
Well, what would be good as well, obviously, this is the big event for Nostalgia Racing, but you guys have got rounds at the European finals, the national finals as well. So is that the plan, hopefully?
Yeah, we'd like to just sort of go out on a bit of a swan song tomorrow for Roland. He's worked hard getting the car down here. He'll go home, and then who knows, perhaps he'll come back.
Well, I hope he's enjoyed himself anyway. Have you enjoyed having him about?
The man is a genius. He's a legend. He's
that's why they make the blocks orange. So when you got your eyes shut, they burn through. You burn through. You see, that's what it is.
That's right. Yeah.
But no, that is quite a record. Pella, have you ever been over the centre line or anything in any of the cars? I know you may have had a bit of an excursion at Mantorp once or twice.
Yes, I have. But that was after the finish line, at least the first one.
Just tell us how short Mantorp is compared to this racetrack or any of the others.
Extremely short. Especially when the chute doesn't develop. So
yeah. Tell me about it.
So I mean, we have 180 degrees bend that we should.
Back at Easter, the chutes didn't deploy for Nick when he went 242 miles an hour.
That's right,
and he went in the field here. At Mantorp, you would have been in Gothenburg, mate.
Yeah.
You would have gone just straight on down the E40 to
I've heard, yeah.
There is a famous, there's a farmer who has the land after the finish or after the stop area.
Yeah.
And he charged Mantorp, the organizer, for everyone visiting his fields.
That's nice
so
of him.
He was counting money every time there was out. And I think that specific weekend in '81 it was. I think it was 17 or 18 cars out in the fields. I mean, that farmer made a fortune.
Well, you know you're in. I mean, I've actually taken photographs up the top end of Mansop, so I know full well how short it is. I think it's less than quarter of a mile, isn't it? It's shorter than the racing distance.
They extended it by moving the start line backward a bit. So I mean the whole track, and then now they're going to run 1,000 foot. So I mean, of course, it helps, but it's still kind of scary if you don't have a chute working.
So that weekend, you were in a fuel dragster, or were you? Yeah, it was a fuel dragster, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just tell us what happened and how it worked out.
What happened was the chutes never developed, and I realized immediately that this is not going to work. And I know the people trying to take that bend with the top fuel drags, it doesn't work either. So I just aimed at somewhere in the middle of the field and just ran out of there. And the car was bent like an S. The last thing that happened was it flipped over, so it took the wing stand and the wing as well. So I mean the car was totaled. And I mean, we were younger and very enthusiastic, so we ordered a new car half an hour later. Because this is not the way to end it. We need a new car.
Yeah, that's almost always the way it works out. I remember when me and John Wright, happy birthday John, again, standing over there, when we decided to go fuel racing together, both of the cars that either A, I drove, or B, John tuned, came back on a wrecker that day, and we both stood there and thought, this looks like fun, let's go and do this as well. So yeah, anyway, it happens like that. And just quickly, Nick, you've been in the field here, I think, is that your first time in the field, was it, back at Easter?
As you know, it isn't. No, I've probably been in there. I went in twice with the Bantam and once with Chaos.
Oh, okay.
I think the second time with the Bantam, you talk about Pella talking about the farmer. I think I went in the dark. I hadn't realised that on the start line the axle had broken and it had rotated the hub on the end and had snapped the brake line. So I went down the track having no brakes at all. I think it was against the Rattans. We were racing for the championship and national finals that year, probably 2008. So yeah, no brakes at all, and ended up in the field in the dark, and then all of a sudden there was bright light to my left. I thought, that's pretty impressive. Sanderpod have arranged for lighting right down in the field, and it was a tractor turning around. And the farmer, genuinely, in the field with the tractor, turned around, lit it up. Amazing.
So they arranged for the tractor instead?
I think, yeah, very kind. Very kind. So yeah, it was the fourth time this week, Easter. And last time.
Those are the sort of things you don't find out, ladies and gentlemen, unless you have people sat up there with the helmet of truth on, but there we go. Also another Storage UK drag racer that's been in the field at Mantorp and nearly stuck it in the posts. Bob, you're sitting next to him. Yes. Yeah, he did. Barry, in the top fuel car, went straight through. You went straight through the kitty litter, didn't you? And you just missed the post as well. Just. Otherwise, that would have been the end of the car. I can tell you, Runa was impressed. Okay, Toby Janssen in the energy check lane with Nitrocalypse. So cool to see the four horsemen on the rear of that car. Check it out, that is a proper nostalgia funny car body. It's the original body from back in the 80s. Coming out alongside the Stinger from Austria, Doc Stinger, for his second run of the year.
Two proper funny car burnouts there. Ryan October, he's in the number 2 with his 673. Don't forget, we add the runs together, so it's not actual qualifying order. This is the Cannonball format, but a 673 in his first session. Doc Stinger went 10.62. Right.
Both loaded from there. I got what's technically known as a road job for that time for both of them.
Going quite a fair way back there, actually. He was Reversing so quickly, the Dragstalgia girls couldn't keep up. Dry hole as well, with Oxy comes up to the start line. So Torbjörn Jansson from Sweden, currently 6.73, Doc 10.62. .47 for Toba, what a run!
And 7.35 at 207 miles an hour for Doc Stinger's team. I think they're all incredibly happy with that. Just very, very quickly. Gentlemen, can I just have a quick word with somebody, please? Quickly, first of all, awesome to see the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse back as well. 6.47, is that your quickest quarter mile?
Yeah, I think so.
It's pretty good though. It's so nice to see. Lots of two funny cars over here from Sweden as well. You enjoying yourself?
Yeah, very much.
Good. Few words, fast car. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen, to Toby Jansson, 6.47, 7.35 for Doc Stinger. I think they were pretty happy with that as well.
Yeah, and he kept it away from the wall as well, which is good. Don't forget, Doc had very, very slight brush earlier on.
I just checked out. There's a little bit of a graze on the body
is there,
on one
right?
side, but not too
But look
much.
at the speed for Doc, though, 2.07 at the stride.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Toba was, it looked like it was eating itself up a bit at the top end, but still made it to the finish line in pretty good fashion, to be honest. I remember that car when it was Anders Lian's car.
Yeah.
From about 83, 84, something like that, wasn't it? And it is a cool idea for the car. Ladies and gentlemen, give both teams a big cheer when they go up. That's Toba's team in the rental car and Doc Stinger's car, Doc Stinger's team, excuse me, in the pickup. Well done, guys.
Well done. And I'm so happy because we're trying to we have two Swedish cars here and they perform well, which is very, very good because when next event in Sweden will be in Tierp in August and then they're going to run again. So it's good advertising for our race.
Are they not at Mantorp in 2 weeks? Thinking about it. They may be, actually, because I think Toba comes from Linköping. Anyway,
yeah, he's from there, yeah.
Yeah, from nearby anyway, but still really, really good runs. And just going back to getting into fuel racing, Nick, did you ever think when you started out, obviously in Supergas, you would end up in fuel cars? It's something you always wanted to do, or you...
Of course not. Of course not. First time I drove a Supergas car, I thought my ears were bleeding. It felt that fast. I never thought I'd want to go any faster. I think it was a 10. No, it's not something that one ever plans to do, and anybody that's been in a race car understands you just want to go faster and faster. So
yeah, I think the thing is as well is that when you first drive a nitro car, I mean, it's as good as it looks on the outside. It's probably a million times better on the inside, isn't it? Both of you have done it, obviously, so you know how it works.
Even in the pits, you know, switching it over from alcohol to fuel, it's indescribable.
I remember something as well. When I was going to start driving, you said to me, you're going to stand there and watch me and go, yeah, go on then, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah,
You're right.
absolutely. And it is, yeah.
But it is totally different when you compete as to... you start off doing it because you think it is a lot of fun, but then you get to the competition part, wanting to beat the guy or girl, obviously, in the other lane, and that changes everything, doesn't it?
It is.
I think you're either that type of person.
Okay, so Friday afternoon at Dragstalgia, and like I said, it is the chill day. But Tony Underhill, you're out here with the Willis, and you're going to go for your first run of the weekend, is it?
Yeah, first run of the weekend, out with the Willis Wars, first pair out, then back, turn it around quick, and then out with Supercharged Outlaw straight after that.
Wow.
So, double entering this weekend.
Okay, so you're going to be proper busy. Now, obviously, this is quite a new car to yourself, only a few runs under your hat. How we feel? What's your personal best at the moment?
9.6.
Okay.
That was a half throttle launch, half throttle run, forgot to change gear. But yeah, it's an awesome bit of kit. It's really cool.
That's it. Well, it's one of the cars that everyone recognises from Pro Mod.
Yep.
Kev Slyfield used to own it, and now you've taken over, and you're going to put your own twist on it, I'm pretty sure, your own stamp. Now, the 3 questions we've got for the weekend is, firstly, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
Looking forward to? Just hanging out with people. It's really cool. The event is amazing. So, yeah, hanging out with people, having a laugh, and hopefully the car will run good.
Number 2. Tell the people for us what they should be looking forward to for this weekend. Why should they visit Santa Pod Raceway for Dragstalgia?
The cars and the people that are here. You got Roland Leong from the States. I mean, the guy's a legend. All these funny cars here. There's no reason why you shouldn't be. The weather's perfect. The track's great. Yeah, got to be here.
Now that is the perfect answer. That is. Let's be honest. And number 1, the 3rd question we got is we're asking them, when was your first visit to Santa Pod Raceway?
1978.
Okay, there you go. There's nostalgia for you.
Yeah.
1978. Brilliant, Tony. Well, like I said, the motor looks absolutely awesome. Just give us a little idea of what it's taken you to get here this weekend.
It's been 5 years in the making, putting it together slowly, buying bits and whatnot. I've had a lot of help from Top Speed Automotive with parts and pieces. Friends Kev Slyfield and James Woodsford from the Blownbird Racing team. They've helped me massively with it. Nick Davis from ICE. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work from a lot of people. It's made it possible.
Perfect. Well, like I said, have a great weekend and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Smash them times.
Cheers.
Well, with every run comes experience, and Paul is certainly gaining loads this weekend.
Well, what we've got to mention about Paul is he's never actually driven anything before. So, Nick, when you were getting used to driving the Supergas car and learning in that, Paul's doing it in a nitro funny car.
I can only imagine. Hats off to anybody that gives it a go.
Always the correct procedure to make sure the car is in a forward gear when they go to take out the parachute pins. The last thing you want to do is run over whoever's taking those pins out. Okay, Paul Harris, Chi-Town Hustler went 9.57 earlier on, but still finding his way around with the car. Doing a cracking job nevertheless. Keeps it away and goes 7.37, 144.
Big round of applause for the team. Outstanding stuff for Paul. Well, that was not bad at all, was it? If you're going to learn how to drive, learn how to drive. Well done, Herb. Well done, everybody. Good stuff. They're getting thumbs up from everybody, even the Swedes. No offence, Pella. And everybody out there listening in.
4.59, 169 at the 8th.
It was still relatively soft, but you know, it's when A to B, it looked like it was running smoothly, which is always the most important thing. And he just needs seat time anyway. The good thing is that's probably another tick on the licensing procedure, and he's nearly there. Let's put it that way. So quick track check, and we're on with I don't know whether it's a pair or whether it be solo run actually underneath the tower in the energy check lane in the Dirty Deeds funny car. It's Rob Elsom, his first run of the year. I think this is going to be. And probably earlier. Too high. Get the side down to the chair. He's certainly deserving.
Well, the quest for 200 miles an hour continues then for Robin Reid. Went 197 in his earlier pass. Rob Elsom, unfortunately, they started the car, dropped the body, and then it died and couldn't get it re-going again. Didn't attempt to be fair. So, as Daryl says, first run of the year for Rob Elsom with the Dirty Deeds. So Robin Reid, as we know, he's got another car under construction, must be so near completion now, but there is still a big box to be ticked for this particular car. They've got to get it to run 200 miles an hour. When it's done that, they can park it for the time being, concentrate on the new car. But don't forget, this is only a 2.6 litre supercharged Daimler near the back of this car. Not the conventional route to go by any stretch of the imagination. Problems with Rob Elsom's body catch release. Body shell won't come up. Or won't lock, one or the other. Okay, locked in position. Well done, guys. Both into pre-stage. Let's see what they got for us this afternoon here at Dragstalgia. Cracking launch there for Robin Reid. Rob Elsom closing in at the stripe. 7,466. Looks like the blower panel went on Robin's car. It was slowing down at the stripe, but to 7:59, 168 for Rob Elsom.
Usually for that car, it actually looked like it dropped a cylinder. You could see it wasn't well at the top end, and a pop and a bit of nitro haze up there for Robin Reid in the shutdown area in the Auto Glim Lane. Rob Elsom, his first run of the year is a 7:59 at 168. Hopefully the car is still in one piece, but the track crew out there checking out after that run by Robin. So how are things shaping up? Well, Tim Garlick's still in the lead, depending on how it works out with that run.
Oh, yeah, with the run with the block hunting, yeah.
Whether it's DQ'd or not, as the case may be. I know that Toby Jansen is going to be probably in second place at the moment. Looks like we may have a little bit of cleaning to do because the ladies are running from the tractor, something I never thought I'd say, to be honest with you. But give the teams a cheer. That's Robin Reid's team and Rob Elsom's team as well. A lot of work gone on. I'm just going to try and grab a quick word again with a few people while we're down here and while they're busy.
Yeah, go for it.
He also doesn't know I'm coming. No, not you. Baz. It's quite all right. Baz Young, very, very pleased to see you here at Santa Bod. Now, just for a quick introduction, Baz, you know John and you know all these guys from many, many years ago. You started off racing back in the UK, yeah?
Yes, I do, yeah. This is a great day for me. This is my first time back racing at Santa Pod since about the 1979, so...
that long?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
The thing is, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, I wanted to try and see if everybody could work out where your accent comes from, because it's still a smattering of English, a smattering of Australian, probably a bit of American in there as well. You've been on quite a journey since 1979, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's mostly Brummie, to be honest with you. But yeah, I moved from England to Australia in the late 90s. I lived there for 10 years, and then I moved to America, and I lived there for 12 years. And while I was there, and presumably the reason you're even talking to me, is because I went to a Nostalgia drag race one day, thought, boy, this looks like fun, and bought a Nostalgia funny car. And then
So was that the first car you'd ever driven as well, or did you drive something back in the 70s as well?
Oh no, back in the 70s, I had a Topolino altered with a Jag engine in it, and then I had a front engine dragster with an injected nitro Pontiac in it, and then I had an injected 392 Hemi front engine dragster on alcohol.
So you've done plenty of stuff before that. However, you ended up with your Nostalgia funny car in the States. You ran some places in the Midwest. You went out to Bakersfield a couple of times as well. Is it as fun as it looks?
Oh, it is. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, I can tell you. We for the most part, we were match racers in the Midwest, and we did about we did 10 or 12 races a year. But once a year we used to go off to Bakersfield, because you cannot imagine how much fun it is being in the lanes with 36 funny cars. So.
It's a very good point. Nobody can, to be honest with you. I think the biggest we've had.
Okay, so Dragstalgia, we're celebrating everything nostalgic. So we've done the cars, we've done the bikes, now we're popping over to the jets. I'm joined with Martin Hill. This weekend, obviously, you've got Fire Force 2 out, which is part of the collection. You've been racing for over 30 years, but you've been racing continuously with the jets for over 30 years this year, isn't it?
It is. We've been campaigning the Fire Force cars now for 30 years. We started at Santa Pod in 76 with the motorcycles, had a bit with jets, but we've been run continuously with the Fire Force since 89.
Brilliant. And obviously you've got, you had one, which unfortunately is now gone. Number two, where did you have this hiding? Just in the barns? Because there used to be part of the bodywork in the CAF, wasn't there?
Yeah, we brought number 2 out, early 2000s like that. We wanted to start running quick. Number 1 wasn't, going to run any quicker than what we'd achieved. We had a few incidents along the way, a steep learning curve with it. Lost a couple of bodies in the early days. But yeah, it's just been in storage ever since. It's been hiding away in the back of the workshop, just waiting for the right time to bring it back out again.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, obviously, the main difference of your car and the rest of the cars that are racing is yours is jets. You don't need to do a burnout because you don't need traction. Is there any gears or anything on this?
There's no gears on it, and we do need traction, unfortunately. It's a misconception. We need to keep the car planted on the ground. But unfortunately, people ask us, how many gears has it got? Why don't you burn outs, like you said? The best thing we can explain it to, it's like an air dryer on a roller skate. What it does, it's hot air, and it just pushes the car along the velocity of the air.
That's a perfect analogy you've given that over the years, and it is true. You just literally strap it in, push it down the track and put out the numbers, let's be honest. This weekend, what would you be looking for with the cars?
We're not trying to do anything fantastic. We'll leave that to number 3. That's the prime one in the stable. But if we can run mid-6s, we'll be quite happy with it.
Very nice.
We're here to entertain the people. We're just exhibition vehicles. We're just part of the whole show.
Brilliant. Okay, well, that's Martin Hill and the Fire Force Jet Funny Car team.
Thank you.
Glad you said mud then. Baz, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much. I know you weren't expecting that, but it's really good to see you back here just for a little while. Thank you very much again, sir. So Baz Young, him and John Wright, good buddies from way back when. He used to live in, like I said, the accent is something different because he's lived in Birmingham, Australia and the Midwest in the US. So it's going to be a fun mixture. Okay, one more car to go, which is the Freddy's Revenge with Robbie Grabham at the wheel, and Carl, he ran his personal best DT earlier.
Yeah, he locked 2/10 off his PB, and Dave Grabham was partying like it was 1999 in the old Fire Up Road there. He's got his camera out, he's ready to take shots of the car.
And this is another team that run occasionally when they had the funds to do it, which
Yeah.
again, Nick, is a difficult thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, and they do it all themselves, and you know, all credit to them. They certainly beat me in a final back at the what was Avon Park once upon a time, 2000 and something, 6.
Loving your accuracy, Nick.
It was 2006 or 2008.
That's right. You've done a lot of racing though. It all kind of blends into one after a while, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So Robbie Grabham went 7, was it 35?
31.
31, wow. I think the car's been in the 7.0s with Dave at the wheel, but that was a long while ago. Robbie's quickest ever run. Let's hope for more of the same. I know the plan was to try and turn it up.
Quite sure what the hold is. Okay, we're good to go. Just drifted out of the groove a little bit there, turned a little bit left, but did the sensible thing.
Okay, we're on with that, Lauranglia, Nick, and I know he's gone now, but Pella, thank you very much indeed for your words.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Top man, thank you.
Well, Nick, thank you ever so much indeed.
You've got Simon Barlow with you, unfortunately.
Yeah, we have actually, a bit of a story there. Right, well, I mean this in the nicest possible way, for there's one person I don't want to see up here, it's you, but Simon Barlow, you're sat up here, you're not in your car. We'll have a quick chat after the first pair, which is Steve Wells, actually, with the Hellcat Special, specially named this weekend, alongside Ian Twaddell. This is actually Steve Wells' first run, hasn't got one in yet. Ian Twaddell with the Anxious Anglia. So I'm going to see a low 8 from Steve. He's trying everything he knows to do it. Maybe taking the long way round, but no, he's backing out of that one. 901, 143 and a 1099 for Ian. There will be a burnout below us in a moment. I know there will. There it comes. What are you doing up here? Why aren't you in your car?
I broke it.
As in a big break, little break? What's occurring, mate?
I could do with a couple of new heads.
Right, okay, so that's quite serious then. So unfortunately then I would reckon we're out for the weekend.
Unfortunately.
Oh, gutted. But got to say, massive congratulations. I know I've only seen you once, but big congratulations for running in the 7.0s at the Ford event.
Thank you.
But to chase a 6, there's got to be a little bit of pain along the way, but hopefully not too much more.
Hopefully not.
Right, Mick Taylor, Rob Turrington. Ah, that's more like it for Mick. Oh, just a little bit of a weave, but it left the line well. 880, 148, and 1087, 121. I don't think I've ever seen a chainmail jumper and a helmet on the start line before. That's just the craziness of Dragstalgia for you. Yeah, so head damage, both sides.
Yeah.
Any idea what's caused it as such?
It's the lean out valve basically came in a bit too quick.
Right.
It's fixable. I need to buy an electronic one. The guys told me, and I was being mean.
You're not blaming yourself, are you?
No, not really.
Okay, fair enough. But the class, I mean, come on. I mean,
Stunning.
this is enormous this week,
Stunning.
and it is fantastic show. Next up, though, is Rob Stone and Adam Cuthbert. Rob currently in the number 10 spot with a 9.26. Adam, number 15, a 9.92.